This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a returning guest. Well, he was back on the show back in September. Stock was trading around $2.10. Now it's trading at north of $3.30. We're talking no other than Chanticleer Holdings, Inc. They trade on the NASDAQ, HOTR or BURG. And to bring us up to date on that is the CEO of the company, Mike Pruitt. Mike, welcome back to the show.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me back. And just to clarify, our symbol today is BURG. Back when we did the last interview, it was HOTR, but we changed the symbol back about 4 months ago to reflect our focus on the better burger category. And so today we do trade on NASDAQ under that symbol, BURG.
Well, let's talk about today's news that you put out. What is that all about?
So a couple things. One, what we're trying to always, convey to our customers as we take advancements in order to make the experience better for our loyal customers, we put out that news. And in the case of Little Big Burger, one of our most exciting and profitable brand up in the Portland, that was founded in Portland, we launched online ordering, which allows the customer, instead of waiting in line, which can be 50 people deep at lunchtime, you can place your order for pickup at noon and have it ready when you walk in and avoid in the line, which is something we've worked on for a while. The second component is we took 3 locations, 2 of which were in the suburbs, right on the platform of a light rail stop for people who live out in the suburbs that work downtown, and we launched breakfast sandwiches on those 2 stores, along with some really cool coffee brand called Original Groundwork Coffee. And then we also are doing it in one of our downtown stores that happens to be on the first level of an office building area as a test. So we're taking our brand that's already hugely successful, expanding it with really cool products for breakfast. We worked with Tillamook Creamery Cheese, come up with a unique cheese for our sandwiches. And, so that was the one area. And then we also reminded people of a press release that went out a week ago with our loyalty program that we're developing alongside of Mobivity using cryptocurrency. And we also shared that with people, as well as a link to an incredible article that National Restaurant News put out over the weekend on both Mobivity and us. So we're excited about the start of 2018, and we look forward to this being a really good year as it relates to as we move forward in our goal, as we said on your last show, to double our restaurants between now and 2020.
I was looking at some of the press releases, and I think I got you guys at around owning about 57 restaurants.
That's right.
Let's talk about the growth in those stores from 2018 to 2020. And, give us a little bit, because I still believe your stock is very undervalued, even here at, $3.30 or $3.50 compared to where you guys were at.
Well, you're not going to get any argument from me on that. I mean, if you look at, there's just some data that's came out recently where if you look at the sector, even though trading down, actually the multiple for the category in terms of multiple of revenue has creeped up to close to 3 times revenue. What, 40 million in revenue, 3 times that's 120, and that's the average of the group. Us trading at a $10 million market cap, is certainly, bodes for us being undervalued as it relates to our peers. As for 18, we've guided at Q3, we guided that this year, we were confident that we could open 3 to 4 new stores a quarter for 2018, which on 57 stores to start the year at, that's a 20+% growth rate. And so, that's a good number. And we felt very conservative in that estimate. And there's some things we're working on as it relates to potential new franchise and new joint venture partner arrangements that could influence that number even higher. Secondly, we guided that we would double from back in the fall where we had 55 stores, that, we were going to double that count between now and the end of 2020. And I think this year, hitting those numbers will certainly give people a lot of comfort in the franchise deals that, we hope to announce that number when we gave it was very conservative.
The company that we're highlighting today here on Stock Day is Chanticleer Holdings. They trade on the NASDAQ, new ticker symbol BURG. Mike, I wanted to ask you this. I was reading some of your press releases. Your goal is to open 3 to 4 new stores per quarter. Is that correct?
That's right. 3 to 4 new stores per quarter this year. And we've already announced, last week we got our first building permit in Seattle where we have 3 stores under lease. And so, we're comfortable. It's going to be a new market for Seattle. We've already announced the first franchise location for Little Big Burger in Austin, Texas, which will open first 2 stores for Little Big Burger in San Diego, one of which should open here in the next couple of weeks. We have a company BGR location that's opening across the street from Catholic University in the next 4 weeks. So we've already laid out the pretty clear path how we're going to meet those numbers. And so, like I say, we were conservative in that guidance, and we certainly believe not only we'll achieve it, but, there's reason to believe that we could, exceed that guidance.
Are you worried about store costs? What I'm trying to get to is your store level profit margins at the Little Big Burger. Are you worried about inflation and maybe you might have to raise prices?
Well, we did have to raise prices actually this year. I mean, not so much as it related to cost to build a store, but more related to minimum wage increases. So we have to obviously factor that into our cost as we relate to what we sell our product for in certain markets as those markets come online with minimum wage. But the good news is, as in the case of the Little Big Burger, one of the reasons that brand has been so successful is we're able to run the stores with not a lot of people. And so whereas we have not reduced our head count at all, and we've raised our minimum wage as required, in some cases well above minimum wage when we factor in the tips that they receive, we've had to marginally raise our prices, but we've been able to address our margins via that. And beef prices fluctuate. They spiked up a little towards the middle of this year, but they've come back down. So, it's something we focus on, like a hawk, but, we're comfortable that, we have the right people and the right team in place to manage the business, very efficiently.
My guest today is Mike Pruitt. They trade on the NASDAQ, ticker symbol BURG, trading around $3.40. Mike, in closing, is there anything that you would like to get out there to the listeners that we didn't get a chance to touch upon? Well,
my goal is to earn the opportunity to, have BURG come into your listeners' portfolios. And so I encourage them to, one, do whatever research they feel necessary. We take pretty good pride in making sure our website, chanticleerholdings.com, has all the information on all of our brands, franchising. You can sign up for email alerts to receive alerts as it relates to things that are happening in the news with Chanticleer. And then I also encourage your listeners that I answer every email and I return every phone call. So you can get my email right off our website, and our corporate office number is on there. Feel free to call me anytime or email me with any questions as you evaluate this opportunity. And I look forward to being able to have a chance to speak to anyone.
Mike, thank you very much for taking time out, coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come back on in 50 or 60 days and give us an update.
Sounds great, buddy. I always appreciate the opportunity.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.